This is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Collector's Edition Clock King. This is the original Clock King, the old school campy version, and I'm really happy to add him to the collection. I love the obscure villains, especially the Bat villains, so he's going to fit in great into my collection. I pre-ordered this guy for the McFarlane Toy Store, took advantage of the bundle discount of the coupon code, and even after shipping taxes, got these guys for less than retail. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts. McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus. McFarlane Collector's Edition, DC Multiverse, Clock King. Here he is in the package. Looks like he has two weapons that are similar to the hands on a clock. We have a collector's card, display stand for the collector's card, and a regular display stand. One side of the package, Clock King. This is the 18th figure in the Collector's Edition subline. Other side, Clock King at the bottom. There's his barcode, if that helps anybody. And in the back, here he is, posed up from the old school comics. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And of course, I did get two of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, the other one to keep unopened in my complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. And like I said, I did order the bundle from the McFarlane Toy Store. Between the 10% off of the Platinum membership, the 10% off of the coupon code, and the bundle discount, got a pretty fair price. There are Platinum Chase variants for each of these figures, and I'm eagerly on the hunt for them. I actually need to get two of each one, so it's going to be quite the task. If anyone has a lead on where I'm able to get one for a reasonable price, please drop me a line in the comments below. Much appreciated. Alright, now that we get this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He has two large hands for a clock, which are kind of like swords, a display stand, a collector's card, and display stand for his collector's card. Before taking a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Clock King, and this is the original campy version. He started out as a Green Arrow villain, and then sort of became a Batman villain. His real name is William Talkman. He was considered a third-rate villain by the authorities because he has no superpowers and this weird fixation with clocks. He became the Clock King after doctors incorrectly diagnosed that he had been struck down with a fatal disease and only had a short time to live. Determined to make every second of his life count, he executed a string of clock-themed robberies as the Clock King. His overall goal was to make sure his disabled sister was well off after he died, and really, it was all for nothing. Like I said, he was misdiagnosed. Now, there is another version of the Clock King. His name was Temple Fugate, and he was from Batman the Animated Series. That's the version I'm more familiar with, but this one here is just a ridiculous, old-school, campy villain, and I love it. So let's take a look. Starting with his head, it's a large clock. It looks great. You can see he kind of has a face made out of the hands there. The colors are very bright, vibrant, blue, green. He's got clocks all over his outfit, clock for the buckle of his belt, watch on either one of his wrists. It looks like it's done with the Nightfall body. I can see what looks like a lot of Catman stuff in here. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. His cape is with that same sort of lime green. His cloth, and it has a bendy wire on both sides. Overall, excellent release of Clock King. Something I never thought I'd see McFarlane do. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Even though it's simple, it looks fantastic. I'm loving it. This is the kind of stuff I want to see more from McFarlane. Campy, old school, obscure Bat Rogues. Now let's check out his accessories. Starting off with the boring stuff. Here's this display stand. Typical McFarlane stand we've seen a bunch of times before. Only difference is this one has a silver DC at the bottom, as it's part of the collector's edition. Very thin, very basic. Now for his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of the Clock King. Old school version pointing right at you. McFarlane Collector's Edition. On the back there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. And it doesn't do much for me, but if you want to display the collector's card next to your figure, you have a stand to do so. And now let's check out the large hands from the clock. These are going to be sort of like swords or giant blades. They're both gold, have a little ring at the bottom for them to hold, and a point at the top. Now, they're pretty much the same, except obviously one is considerably larger than the other, just like a clock. Here's the Clock King, holding those clock hands like blades or swords. And here he is, holding them at 12 and 3, just like a clock. And here are a few clock accessories that did not come with this figure that I had in my collection I thought could be useful for him. The two on the bottom, at least one of them came with a wrestling figure, not sure about the other. And then we have a little desk clock in the back. All stuff that I've had on my Clock King shelf for a long time and are perfect for a day like today. Now to check out the reuse from this Clock King figure. And most of the parts are from the Catman body, which is mostly from the Batman Nightfall body. So let's take a look. Obviously, head's completely different. Cape's completely different. As we go further down, the chest and stomach area look to be exactly the same. You can even see the straps from Catman on the side here, which I think is a very odd decision. They could have easily used the Nightfall Batman body, but I guess maybe he had the sculpted chest here. I don't know. It just seems like there have some options that wouldn't have those straps there. The arms, at least the bicep area, looks to be the same, and the forearms are different, as he has these large gloves. The diaper area is different, although if you look at it, looks like the diaper area is the same, just the belt's different. They have the same lines on the side there. And then, of course, the legs are the same. So, these are 100% the same figure, except for the head, the cape, and the forearms. Then, of course, the belt. Clock King is now the 8th figure to utilize the Nightfall Batman body in the McFarlane DC Multiverse line. That is, of course, until you get the Platinum Chase variant, which is Mr. Time, who is also going to use that body, and I'm really excited for that guy. Now that I've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing at about 6.9 inches tall, which can translate to 17.5 centimeters, and for his articulation. Starting with his head, of course, it can rotate side to side. He can look up and down a very good amount. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint goes up about 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He does have that butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest, increasing the range of motion and covering the gap, although you can barely see it in there. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows. His wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged. In his torso, he has a ball joint. Rotate around, forward and back. Another one is waist. Rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, pretty good range of motion in the torso area. I get a little bit more of the torso than the waist on this guy. Legs, complete to splits, McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation's minimal but there. Legs go forward, about that far. Back not much. Double jointed knees. And his ankles, forward and back. Rotate, tilt, rock, and of course, toe articulation. Here's a look at the Clock King in front of a clock. Hands just like the clock. And here's a look at the Clock King number 1 with his arm wrapped around Clock King number 2. What a team up. Now let's check him out next to some of their action figures, starting off with some of their Clock King figures. Here he is, next to the only other officially licensed Clock King figure that I'm aware of. This is from Mattel's Justice League Unlimited line, and this is the Temple Fugate version of Clock King from Batman the Animated Series. And here he is, next to my custom DC Universe Classics style and scale version of the Temple Fugate Clock King. These guys are going to team up and wreak havoc on Gotham City. Clock King here originally started off as a Green Arrow villain, and then progressed to the Batman Rogues Gallery and fits in fantastic with the old school campy rogues. I could see a really cool team up between Green Arrow and Batman, taking down the Clock King. Like I said before, I love the campy, obscure Bat Rogues. Clock King looks absolutely ridiculous, and is going to fit in great with the likes of Dr. Double X, the Calculator, Polka Dot Man, the Eraser, Mr. Camera, Calendar Man, Crazy Quilt, or the Ten-Eyed Man. It's like Batman, Brave and the Bold, the cartoon all over again. Now Clock King is a figure that no company has ever done before, definitely not in the 6 or 7 inch scale. Those are the type of figures I really want from McFarlane. Stuff no one else has done before. That's the type of stuff I like to customize and add to my collection. So I'm really stoked about this wave. Ragman and Clock King, hell yeah. Let's check him out with some other figures McFarlane has made that no one has done before. Here he is next to Mr. Bloom and Punchline. Two obscure rogues, but more on the modern side of things, and no company has ever done figures of them. McFarlane also previously did Polka Dot Man and The Abyss. Two figures that have never been made before, and I love adding them to the collection. And even though these aren't the first time companies have made these characters, I'm really happy McFarlane gave us Catman and Mr. Zsasz. Mattel did a Catman figure, and then both DC Direct and Diamond Select Toys did a Mr. Zsasz. But I'd say both these versions are excellent additions to the collection and the Rogues Gallery. And even on the hero side of things, McFarlane gave us Ragman and Lucius Fox. No company has ever come close to releasing these figures. And the DC Multiverse line is not the only line to give us these crazy obscure villains. In the DC Direct Batman the Animated Series line, we got Lockup and Conduit King, and Maxi Zeus is upcoming. And in the 66 line, they've given us King Tut, Egghead, Bookworm, and Lord Deathman. So here's the McFarlane Collector's Edition Wave 1. Every single Collector's Edition figure has a Platinum Chase variant. Here are both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the first appearance Superman, the Abyss, and Alan Scott Green Lantern. And here's the second wave of Collector's Edition figures, both regular and Platinum versions of Firestorm, Hawkman, and Sinestro. Then, the third wave of Collector's Edition figures, we have the Death and Return of Superman, Captain Carrot, Batman as Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman. Here's the fourth wave. This wave consisted of Penguin, Starfire, and Captain Boomerang. And here's the fifth wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of Sergeant Rock, Connor Kent Superboy, and Manga Batman. Then, here's the sixth wave of Collector's Edition figures. This wave consists of Ragman, Clock King, and Red Hood. There are Platinum Chase variants of each of these figures, and I'm on the hunt for them. Anyone has a lead, let me know. Now, the next wave after this is going to be Dark Knight Returns Batman, Huntress, and a Green Lantern Army Builder. Also, really looking forward to that wave. Now let's check him out next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Superman Centennial Park Tribute Statue figure. Here's Clock King, next to the Dark Side DC Classics Mega figure. And here he is, next to the most recent Platinum wave, Sportsmaster, Manhunter, and the New 52 Reverse Flash. And here, with the second digital wave, Green Arrow, Superman, and the Atom. And now, with the DC Rebirth Tim Drake Robin, and both the Platinum and regular versions of the Cyborg Superman. Here's Clock King, next to the Target exclusive Jim Gordon in his Rookie Suit Mega figure versus Mr. Bloom 2-pack. And here he is, next to the Target exclusive Metallo and Fire. Then, with the Nightfall Batman versus Bane 2-pack. And now, with the Dark Knight Trilogy, Morgan Freeman, Lucius Fox. And finally, with the Joker and Punchline 2-pack. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix them with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start with my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale, and now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and some Diamond Select toys. Here's the Clock King, next to an old SpongeBob clock. And here he is, with some DC Direct and NECA figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts, and some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, I think this Clock King figure is fantastic. This is exactly the type of figure I want from McFarlane Toys, or any of the DC companies. Even though there's a lot of reuse, he's a ridiculous looking character. I love him. I think this guy's fucking great. His accessories, the hands on the clock, awesome. Sculpt and paint job, excellent. I don't even mind the reuse. I don't even mind they left the straps on from Catman, and that easily could have been avoided. His articulation is everything you'd expect from a modern McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. If I were to rate this guy, and maybe I'm overshooting it, I'm giving him a solid 8 out of 10. I like this figure. I like it a lot. In fact, I love it. It is great. It's a very solid wave, almost my dream wave for McFarlane Toys. 2 obscure Bat figures, and Red Hood, but not the Jason Todd version, a more obscure version, pre-Joker Red Hood. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.